because you know, it's your opinion's very interesting. I remember the first time you came and you said something about your tickets, that it didn't have your name on, you didn't have any ID, and etc, etc. And I got that changed because of that, and I would never have known that.
Right. And
sometimes as a promoter on event manager, it's very difficult to get feedback from people, so I always like look on the internet, but the problem with the internet sometimes is biased and everything else. But you were very honest about things, and that's why I sent you an email and stuff, and that's why I kept in communication with you. So I always like your opinion, so tell me some examples of what you think.
Well, the first time I arrived here early because I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be like, and I did a set of videos where I walked around the premises, had a look.
You couldn't get a taxi, I remember.
I couldn't get a taxi because I didn't know. I mean, half of it was I didn't know the city, and I do know now that I'm within walking distance, you know, and there was little things like that, but there's no taxi rank for a start. And I found things like, I remember walking around the building and I found, I think, 2 posters, and I wasn't quite sure I'd actually got the right location to begin with. So there was that. I've seen things like the lighting as well in here. I think I even mentioned it to you actually halfway through, that that has increased and got significantly better. I've also noticed the last time I came that there was more posters around the premises, and I think they did away with those, you know, the 2 queues where you had a system of, if you have a ticket already booked, you stand one side of the door. If you have you have your ticket on you, you stand the other side of the door. That had gone as well, and I remember standing in the queue that I was in before, being the only one, when you came out and met me last time. So it's little things like that, and obviously, I mean, I've been talking to Christy, who I think is one of your runners, or whatever, and she's got very, very nice things to say about you. But you know, I don't want to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I have slight event management background in my history, but nothing like this.
You know, I teach event management, and I used your piece you wrote. I used in my class.
Right.
And I actually the piece you wrote for MMA Hip Hit.
Yeah.
I brought that up in my class. I showed them, and I said I explained how important that was in terms of what you wrote.
Got you.
And how I read my feedback from how I interpreted that. So that was really interesting. That's why I always like, you know, where you...
Because they've got in contact with me wanting me to write another piece this time, good. So that's something that will be on its way shortly, in the next week. So yeah, but you know, I enjoy coming here now, and this would be the only MMA promotion that I'd think of attending.
Would you go to UFC still?
I would. Yes, I have. I went to UFC 85 because I might just say I'm a big Matt Hughes fan. I'm Tyburn on his forum with a few posts. So yeah, I went down to see him when he. But I don't usually. You know, not even when it's in this country. You know, so no, not really. And I wouldn't go to Cage Rage.
Okay, that's really interesting because, you know, a lot of these fans in here probably would go to the UFC, and you're saying, no, actually I'd choose to come to this now.
Yeah, I do now.
And that's really like interesting. That's good for me in that sense, and I think that's what's happening a lot more. And I think you can see that with people are choosing it more. I think it's becoming bigger as a brand. I always want to ask you, how did you hear about it in the first place?
Right, interesting story. I was subscribed to Fighters Only magazine. I was considering dropping my subscription because I
spoke to Hal tonight, by the way. I was going to introduce you to him.
No, not yet.
I was going to introduce you to him.
I will meet him one day. He's the reason, basically, that I subscribe to that magazine. I love his writing style.
Do you read notes from the King?
Yes, yes. And I always give him feedback.
He's got. I know he's going to do a story on me in a week or so. They told him something funny last time, so he's going to run it. So.
He is fantastic, but I was considering, you know, was it worth staying on subscribing to Fighters Only if that was all I was sort of doing it for? So I thought, well, you know, there are mixed martial arts promotions in the UK, perhaps I should actually like visit a few. And basically, I'm in Harrogate, North Yorkshire based, and this was the closest one. So I thought, right, I'll do that then. I'll go to Olympia and see what it's like. So, and then it sort of spiralled from there, really.
Well, that's really interesting. So, what do you think the future holds for us? You watched it on TV, obviously.
I did, yes.
And you see it, you've seen it live, and then you watch it on TV, and it's different.
It is different, yeah.
The programme's very different.
Yeah,
you know, the programme, you know, it's got a lot more to it. It's quite educational, basically. What do you think the future holds for Cage Gladiators?
Well, I think there was a good step tonight in getting a recognised name internationally on the card. Yeah, I do. And I think having Jackson here as well, which I didn't know about actually. That's why my mouth was like that when I realised, yeah, that's fantastic. And I think that goes a long way. I think that goes a long way because other promotions and other places online and other forums are covering the people rather than the events. You know, if Rampage comes here, they're forced to mention Cage Gladiators, and then suddenly it gets an international recognition. Because I'm doing that on Matt Hughes' forum at the moment. You know, I do speak about it a lot.
I'll tell you in fact, I found this out last week, I found this out the other day. You know, we have more viewers than the UFC in the UK.
I didn't, but I'm not surprised.
More than anybody in the UK.
I'm not surprised.
And we beat the UFC by maybe nearly 20,000.
The thing is that, and the thing I like about it is that it's free. I mean, and I know that sounds incredibly sort of like
no, I never thought
shallow,
about that. But I saw
but
your
it's
post.
free.
I never thought about that, because you know you don't have to have Sky TV.
Nope.
You don't have to pay a Satanta, pay
Nope.
pay-per-view.
Exactly.
And you're getting this.
And you get it, and you're able to see it. You know, and it's quite accessible, and I like that. I really like that, and I can't understand why other promotions aren't cottoning on to that fact. Do you know what I mean?
It's because they can't get the deals.
Right.
We were lucky getting the deal. We were lucky. We worked hard to get the deal. You know, and it was it set up a few different things because of it. And people think it's one way. It's actually another. But the deal works. People get to see it on mainstream TV, and it's good for the organisation. Very good for the organisation.
Yeah. Well, I think it's made a difference. I do. I even posted the link on the forum.
In America, you can't watch it. I'm talking.
I discovered about that.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm going to put it up somewhere so you can watch it.
Right.
In the States.
Right.
And not that, I'm going to find out about that.
I wasn't sure if you knew or even if it was
I
something
read your
that came
post
up.
I saw that. So I'm going to. I don't think because of copyright we can talk in the States, but I know I can get it from another way.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting.
I only found out because basically I got feedback saying, "Oh, we'd love to see
Someone will
it."
put it up as a torrent or something. You know, so some people can download. It'll happen. Always does. Doesn't it? Out of your control. What can you say?
Yes,
you know, so it's one of them things.
Well, it's free in this country anyway.
Yep,
that's the whole point of it,
Yeah.
is that it's accessible, and that if you can get hold of it, you know, well, it feeds
Everything.
it, feeds it, doesn't it? Yeah.
So will you be back on November 29th? Fantastic. You know, you're always welcome at Cage Gladiators. I always value your opinion.
You do, yes.
Keep the dialogue
yes.
up with us. Keep it coming. Keep your blogs going.
That's what I will.
Without
I will.
blogs like these, the sport wouldn't be where it is today. Without, people like you post on these forums, the sport would be nowhere near as big as it is. You know, we love to read it, and promoters don't get on there to tell people that. We love to read it. We love to hear the things you say. We actually do listen to it, which is the difference. People don't expect it. Keep people's work.
Well, can I just say in finalisation to that I have never had such a warm welcome at your sort of management level in something like this, and it's really hard to get to know, to get to speak to the people who are coordinating things like this.
We do things a little bit differently. There's a way to manage people. And a lot of time people think managing people is about the role of being the manager and having power and everything else. The actual best way to manage someone is to be like them.
Yeah.
Is to walk a mile in their shoes.
Yeah.
Is to put yourself in their position. And talk like you want to be treated yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I work.
Yeah.
That's how we work here at Cage Gladiators. And if we have that attitude, I think that's why this.
I think that's why it works. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
and that's
great.
key, and that's our kind of main work ethic. Everything else, it's our if you like, our mission statement.
I mean, I've seen you go round afterwards, speaking to all the fighters, saying goodbye to all of the promoters, all the people associated with them.
Without them, there's no fight. All right, we pay the money. I'm sorry, they get in there and do that. I can't do that. They get in there and do that. So I thank them.
But my point is that Emile, I don't think everybody does.
That's their problem. You know what? Maybe they could learn things.
Yeah. Well, character's quite important, as far as I'm concerned. So if you've got the right character, and then I shall just come back time and time again.
But as I'm talking to you, I talk to my mum like that, my girlfriend, I talk to my best friend that way, I talk to people who work with us. I treat everyone the same, and that's how really it should be. Great feedback. I'm really happy you came in and having a good time. You saw Rampage before and
yes.
else, and you got interviewed as well.
And I got interviewed.
So it's a different night for you. It makes a change from
I'm not used to being this side of the camera.
There you go. You've had a new experience again tonight. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
problem.